This time on Low Boost, we work out the kinks on our E36 Turbo LS Swap, we put a boost controller on it, and we do some pulls. Hit the intro. So, in hopes that it's my positive crankcase ventilation, or PCV, that's the problem as to why my car is still leaking a little bit of oil. I got a catch can, got a vent and a baffle, 2 ports there, so hopefully that'll help alleviate the problem. I still gotta run it to a vacuum line with a check valve, but I'm still waiting on the check valve. So I just drilled a hole in a piece of aluminum that I had and was able to mount it up there. It'll work. See how it does. I gotta put some more miles on it to really kind of see if the oil leak is gonna stop. You guys like my LS Swap shitbox? If so, hit the subscribe button. I upload a video every week on this car, my M235, my the 1970 Camaro LS Swap that I'm doing with my dad. We're also doing an old Ford F100 pickup truck. And I upload videos on car reviews I do for people in the area. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys send me a message on Facebook if you think I should do a review video on your car. I'm running the boost gauge slash boost controller, the AEM Truboost. I ran in through here, came down with my boost line for the gauge and running into vacuum. But I still have to run for my boost solenoid. Gotta figure out what I want, where I want to mount that. Thinking maybe here, fashion up something with some aluminum, or maybe back over here somewhere. I still have to have a boost reference line off of my fuel pressure regulator. So figure out where that's gonna go. And the BorgWarner SXE372 actually has a port right on the turbo. You do have to drill it out, but it has a port right there, so I'll be able to use that to measure boost for the solenoid, going back and forth in between that and the top and bottom of my tile V60D wastegate. So the boost controller, what it does is, depending on the duty you have between 10 and 100%, it opens and closes rapidly, and that's kind of how it controls boost. It bleeds it out. So it's pretty neat how it works. And I want to put in the scramble boost function, so once it gets tuned, we can figure that out. I'd like to flip a switch and be able to run scramble boost on it just for a little bit. I think you can do it for up to 25 seconds, which is pretty cool. So I'm wiring up my AEM Truboost boost gauge, similar dash face to my AFR gauge, which is pretty cool, and it's right on my steering column. Run it through the hole that I made up in here. As I'll put a link to a previous video, and currently I'm all done doing that, and I just wired up my scramble boost button. So I got this gauge from AutoZone. So when you need to run scramble boost, or you really need to turn it up all the way, you flip this up. That turns on scramble boost for a defined period of time, like say 20 seconds at absolute maximum boost. And then when you're done with it, turn it back off. So I got a happy button. So a few more things I want to do before I take the car to get tuned. I do not like how close this one hose is for my fuel, so I'm actually gonna make a longer hose that kind of goes up and around and down into my fuel pressure regulator here. Just to kind of clean up the engine bay a little bit. It should straighten some things out. Now that I have my boost controller in here and it's mounted up there, I should be able to have the space to route that fuel hose around. I don't like where their fuel pressure regulator is. It was the easiest spot to put it. I may move it in the future, but for right now, it should be okay. The hood shuts, no problems there, so see how it does. Anytime before you do anything on your fuel system, it's always good to release pressure. So I always take the fuel cap off. That just helps things. It's gonna blow fuel everywhere, and I'm gonna have rags ready for it, but that does help it instead of blowing all over my face. Because we don't wanna blow it all over your face. That's what she said. There is literally almost no way for me to do this without getting fuel everywhere, but this is what I'm gonna try to do to drain it in. Why do I feel like this? Alright, got a little bit, not too bad. Gotta love that fuel smell. Note, I'm doing this outside of my garage this time because I just don't want my wife yelling at me that the garage smells like gas. Personally, I love that smell. I mean, they should make it into a cologne. But, yeah, she don't like it, not a fan. So, alright, let's get the rest of this line off. Now, yeah, I mean, they should have like a E35 cologne, a 93, that's a lot. You know, it doesn't work as well with the ladies. And then you like have like a 110 octane race gas cologne. That'd be awesome. Well, maybe I'll make that cologne and, you know, but I don't have to use like crap AEM fitting tools. So what I do is I just take a couple pieces of tape and I put it on the vise, that way I don't gouge the crap out of my AEM fittings. I don't have like the real legit AEM tools, but this is a pretty cool way to, in a cheap way, to kind of make it a little easier on yourself. So these are just kind of cheapo eBay fittings. They're not, you know, the best stuff in the world, but they work well so far and they haven't spilled any fuel, so I'm gonna keep going with them. I got all the fittings in 20 feet of line for 50 bucks. Really can't go wrong with that. Pinch that in the vise, won't go anywhere. Start threading this bitch in. I like to push AEM line in, that way it doesn't stretch as it's coming out. The last thing you want is for that to separate from the actual fitting, because then you can actually get leaks. So I try to hold it in place. Everybody's got a different technique. This is just what I do until it's just past hand tight, and then I'll use a adjustable wrench, because they don't actually make like the perfect, you know, wrenches for this. At least none of the ones that I have work. So I just use an adjustable to get right to the right spot. It's tight right there. Good. Now, you can see how it's kind of gouged up, but it's not too bad. I like to have them almost flush, like that. It looks better. I mean, I kind of pinched it there, didn't I? Could be worse, could be much better. So that's but it works. All right, so the car's got enough miles on it now that I really need to get it tuned. A couple things I did though to make it safer / run better. I relocated the whole fuel return away from the manifold. It was kind of scary, and thanks for the feedback. I know a couple people commented on that. You know, especially once that thing gets really hot on long poles, I'm gonna want it somewhere else. So I moved it over here. You know, that pipe's not gonna get nearly as hot, and I ran the return around the back and with a heat shield down back behind the engine to where the stock feed and return go. Also, it was kind of breaking up as I was driving it. Turns out one of my plug wires was shot, so I had those replaced and all equal length. So hopefully that makes everything a little bit smoother. The car is running a lot better, idling a lot better. Obviously now it's running on 8 cylinders. Pulls pretty good. It's making about 4.5 PSI, but I can't quite put a number on how much power it actually is. There's not a lot of timing in it. It pulls pretty good. It's just, I want it to pull faster. So it's not quite ready to go to New Age hot rods yet. I want to make sure the car is completely straight. So I might try to have, you know, Justin or someone else I know that's familiar with HP tuners, you know, give me a little street tune just so I can make some more PSI and have some fun with it until it's ready to go. Also, I have the stock differential in this thing, and the rumor is, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, it'll hold about 500 horsepower. But as soon as I try to make more than that, especially on these M&H Race Masters, I have a feeling I'm gonna grenade the rear end. So I think I'm gonna try to keep it around 500 horsepower until the winter time, and then I'm gonna do a whole project and show you guys as I take apart the whole rear end. I'm gonna do a whole different subframe, reinforced. Not sure if I should do a Ford Explorer, like Ford 8.8 rear, or if I should try to find a 210 millimeter out of an E34 M5. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm still kind of up in the air of what I want to do with that. I want it to be able to hold, you know, 1,000 horsepower would be great, because you know, maybe one day I'd like to grow to that in the future. But I really want to make sure it holds and holds up. That way I can actually dig this car, because it's going to be fun to you know, doing rolls and stuff. But I really want to dig it. I really want to take it to a quarter mile and see what it puts down, you know, from a drag, from a standstill. So let me know what you guys think. Gauges are pretty cool. They match, which is important. I just got to adjust the height on them. Putting the new thermostat in, even at 85-degree temps outside, we're still at 183. So 160-degree thermostat worked. The car's running great, taking it to Cars and Coffees, I'm driving it around, everything's good, it's pulling good. It's not pulling as hard as I want because everything's turned way down. I gotta figure out the O2 sensor issue that I'm having. They're not registering, so it's either something in the pinout, maybe something in the PCM. I swapped out the O2 sensors and they still are not reading. So in order to get a real good tune on this car, those have to be fixed. But at least on the base map, just driving it around, it's been fun and fine. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys give me a like, gonna comment below if you think of what I should do differently to the car, or what you guys like on the car. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.